Yo, what's happening, y'all? It's the Iceman on the Iceman Show. Just wanted to come holla at y'all, and I want you guys to check out the new design. Hopefully, it will keep you guys engaged, and we're going to try and make sure that we improve your viewing and listening pleasure. Okay. Remember what we do here. We do edutainment. We educate, but we also entertain. So that's what's cracking. That's what's cracking right now. Let me read something real quick. Okay. Now you see the quad pictures here with these four really old dudes. Probably don't exist anymore. But let me read to you from left to right and from right to left. Okay. Now, the first one, it says, "We are not and have never been a civil rights organization. Personally, I hate the word." Hector Garcia, founder of American GI Forum. Okay. Then the second one says, Latin Americans of Mexican descent belong to the Caucasian race and are themselves white. I believe that's what that says. I don't know why it's all blurry. But anyway, then on this one, it says, "Let the Negro fight his own battles. His problems are not mine. I don't want to ally with him. Felix Tijerina, of the Mexican American president of LULAC." Then the last one says, "I know Negroes aren't getting their fair share of democracy, but frankly, I'm prejudiced against Negroes, and I do not believe that they are entitled to everything that we got." Gus Garcia, Mexican American civil rights attorney. Okay, so you see these four individuals on the screen there, and I don't know if you can actually see this and read it. I don't think you can, and it might just be because I'm in recording mode. But anyway, are Latinos really YT? That's what we're talking about today, and we're going to discuss what they want to do and what reality says, and what the real world says. Okay, because that's the problem with a lot of these so-called Latinos. They don't have a sense of awareness. They just do whatever they want to do, and until they get caught. Okay, and let me show you. Here's another. Let me show you this story. Okay, on the left is the former Miss North Carolina, USA. And on the right is the current Miss North Carolina, USA. Now, she was a runner-up, okay? What happened is they found tweets of this scumbag on the left, and what they did is they always looking for a gotcha moment. So they went back and they've got her Twitter page, and she was on there calling black people all kind of N-words with the ER. and all kind of stuff. And then when they asked her about it, she said, "Oh, it was a mistake." Sure, it was. Just like you being born, it was a damn mistake. Okay, so this old wannabe Anglo so-called Latina, this Juanita, she all in her, she trying to, she really does think she's white. And see, this is, let me tell you, let's yeah, let's move on, because I don't want to be on here too much longer. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to post a video. Now, you may not hear everything. If you cannot, just let me know in the chat room, because we need to, I'm still playing around with this thing, trying to get it popping. So bear with me here. But anyway, she was stripped of her title because of her racism, and good riddance. Okay, and that's gonna follow her everywhere, because she's a public figure, whether she wants to be or not, and people are gonna get wind of her being a racist, want to be Anglo. Okay, so this sister here, she graduated from Tennessee State, which is HBCU, good school, Tennessee State University. She's a graduate of there, and now she's the face of North Carolina as in the Miss USA pageant. So she misses out. And this sister, I'm quite sure she's gonna represent. So, but anyway, I'm gonna post this video of this maggot on here that he's on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. And what he's talking, and he's a little one of these little slick, college educated Juanitos, and he talking a lot of smackola. So let me post that real quick, let you check it out. If you can't hear, you might want to turn it up.
These are American citizens. But now you're also generalizing that because of DACA, we are allowing all these criminals just like they are in Mexico.
DACA ain't got nothing to do with it.
Generalizing Mexico as a whole as a criminal country. And it have to be because
you are
come here. They're not trying to stay in Mexico. A lot of those people that are under DACA, they have been here since.
Hey, this thing is tripping. So I don't know what's redo it. Man, damn it. Hold on, let me do it again.
Mexico.
Tripping.
A lot of those people that are under DACA, they have been here since they were children.
So what?
That's no excuse. It doesn't mean that because they've been here since they were Mexico children. Mexico, I believe, 6 large
economy.
Let me let me fill in some of this. And what he and see, so Jesse Lee Peterson is giving him pushback because this dude was trying to make it like, uh, that having illegals over here is a good thing for America. And Jesse Lee Peterson, he didn't hold his tongue. He was just like, so you want in California. Here's the second clip. Hold on.
Because Mexico, like you say,
maybe it is.
It is rich, but then again, when it comes to
the way you fight to break the law and disrespect us, once you get here, why not use that same energy in your country?
Because right now, as it is, as far as wages go for people to work in Mexico, it is very
because
very
you're not
important.
fighting back there. They have the sixth largest economy. You can fight back and create money.
And people have been fighting back.
No, you guys are here fighting us.
We're not fighting anyone.
You can't even
What do you
hear.
think of the race
Between whom? There's so many other countries that we have been involved with.
Okay. Here's the third clip. Hopefully you'll hear this.
Between the blacks and the Hispanics.
See the sleight of hand?
I believe that the 20 years ago, and I can tell you this from what I saw, when there was a lot of problems between the blacks and the Hispanics.
That you created.
Between the blacks and the Hispanic. Nowadays, there's a lot more unity between the black and the Hispanic. There's a lot more unity.
Not true, it's still bad.
Okay.
He was trying to
He
was trying to say, my ass, pretty much insinuate.
We've seen, in the media and
that
fake
he's trying to
news
insinuate
as your president
the reason
says,
why blacks and Latinos don't get along.
Well, in your opinion, in my opinion, blacks and Hispanics nowadays get along a lot more than what they did in the past.
No, it's because of y'all. Ain't because this is terrible, man. I apologize, y'all. So
is responding with something like, we're not doing that.
Yeah, and we saw Donald Trump over the weekend.
A middle class, right? And responding with something like, we're not doing that.
Yeah, and we saw over the weekend.
Okay, it's telling me to get her off of here. Wait a minute. Oh, that's remove. Man, this thing be tripping. Okay, let's see. Where's that article? Oh, here it is. Okay. What you see here is this article on the Nazi lowriders. Come on, I'm still working this, y'all. Okay. For some reason, the article won't scroll. I don't know why. It's just not doing it. Yeah, it's not letting me do jack. But anyway, the article is who are the Nazi lowriders? Okay. Oh, it does move. Oh, I see what it's doing. Hold up, dog. Hold up. Oh, now I see what it's doing. Okay. This article is called "Who Are the Nazi Lowriders?" And let me click the article so I can read it. Shoot. From time to time, we tend to wander off the mafia mob circuit and look at prison gangs. In the past, we have covered the likes of MS-13, the Bloods, Crips, and the Aryan Brotherhood. Talking of the latter, the Nazi lowriders, which we are going to focus on today, was a spinoff from the Aryan Brotherhood. Now these first couple of paragraphs says a lot about this whole situation. Okay, so it says, how did Nazi lowriders come about, and who are they? They were first heard about back in the mid 1970s, but weren't on police radars until the early part of the 1990s. The name derives from the German Nazi Party, white supremacists, and from a play on the term used by Hispanic gang. They didn't come up with that. Black men are the first ones to start low ride. They copied off of us because they don't originate anything. They started as a group that provided muscle for the Aryan Brotherhood, but soon became a strong outfit themselves with connections to the likes of the Ku Klux Klan. See that? Who are their enemies and allies? They are allies of the larger and more notorious gang, the Aryan Brotherhood, Mexican Mafia, and Public Enemy number one. Their main rivals are the Bloods, Crips, the Black Guerrilla Family, and notice they list the black gangs first. I guess they against MS-13, Norteños, and Norteños is like from about Merced, Bakersfield on up. Okay, they come from that area, from the Yay area. And the rest are familiar. I don't really know much about them. Anyway, let me skip some of this. How to spot a Nazi lowrider member. They'll usually have the SS or swastika on their person. A member could also have the words Nazi lowriders tattooed on themselves, or even the logo. The logo is comprised of a skeletal eagle holding a swastika with the letters of the group based on the Reich-Sandler symbol. Okay. Going to the next page. God will as a bit of Oscar-winning acting. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, what are we dealing with the Mexican? Dealing with the mob? Some by some Al Capone. Man, you know what? I think we should just go ahead and go ahead and take this off. Okay, and then what else we got down here? Oh, okay. So as you can see, they have it in their heads that they're Anglo and that that they're white. Now, what they are considered is ethnic Caucasians. They're not considered white because they have our blood flowing through their veins. They have some trace of melanin. Otherwise, they wouldn't be darker than the average Caucasian. And what they thought, but what they don't understand, it goes even deeper than that to the Anglos. And you can't be an Anglo and be a Mexican or Nicaraguan, okay? So this guy, he is, these guys, they want to be Anglo so bad. Now, Nazism has been in Mexico since the mid 1930s. But but they were in hiding. Today they're quasi hiding, and but you can still spot them. They're still out there on the streets. It's interesting how they adopted that filthy swastika and choose to copy the Nazis, because during World War II, a few Jews were sent down there to Mexico, but also apparently some Nazi military people must have ended up down there or something, because for them to put all this negative stuff out there, it makes me think that they were already ripe for this stuff anyway. They was already ripe for this stuff of being racist. Okay, this is why you can't turn your back on these people. You cannot trust them. You don't do any business with them, because they ain't gonna do no business with you. And you don't want their sloppy behinds over at your house trying to fix something anyway, because most of them don't know what the hell they doing. Okay, but Sunday, I thought something was wrong with my gas meter, because I didn't see, I couldn't see it moving. And so I'm sitting there and I called the gas company, because the pilot underneath my water heater went out, and the and my fireplace pilot went out. So, I'm not knowing, I didn't really work with gas that much when I was a plumber. So I don't really mess with it. But I know what pipes to go get. I know there's certain types of pipes you have to get, or that you put galvanized on there, and that gas it'll destroy that pipe after a while. It does. It eats away at it or something. I don't remember exactly what it did. But anyway, they sent a guy out. Okay. And I'm coming now. I'm disabled. So I'm taking my time walking down the stairs. He already rung the doorbell. I said, I'm coming. I know damn good and well he heard me. Okay. I know he heard me. And he started going all like this on my storm door. And I was like, what the hell's wrong with this dude? And so I got ready to open the door, and he had this hateration look on his face. He was seriously perturbed for some reason. And I was like, well, it ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay. So he didn't even, I said, hey, he didn't even speak. He was just like, so where's the problem? I was like, oh, we ain't starting off on the right foot here. And so he went and checked a couple of things, and he was like, well, what happened here? And I was like, dude, that thing over there, that has nothing to do with you. What he was doing, he was pointing at this, I'm doing something to some pipes, and kind of burnt the siding or whatever. I can cover that up. I ain't worried about that crap. But anyway, he started talking down to me. He started kind of talking to me like he's my daddy or something. Like, you're not supposed to. I said, dude, look. I said, hey, man. After a while, I said, then he said, then this little SOB said, because he was talking about, well, is there a fire? And I said, what fire? I said, dude, there ain't no fire in here. Do you really think I would be sitting in my house if my house was on fire, fool? Huh? Anyway, and it was this old Hispanic dude. I forgot to say that. This old Mexican. Okay. He's old big fat slob. And he was just rude as hell. Threatening to lock out my gas meter because he didn't like my answer or something like that. Which, again, what he was asking about had nothing to do with the gas meter. I was like, dude, he didn't even touch the meter. What are you talking about? I haven't touched it. I don't have a reason to touch it. And so this jack off, man, he was pissing me off. So I made sure I started watching his ass. And he was doing something to the gas line, and he was like, hey, I'm doing something to my garage door, one of my garage doors. And he said, hey man, I got a cut. I said, hey, I cut him. I said, hey man, I said, dude, I don't do business with people I don't know. Okay. I only deal with brothers. Okay. So you don't be over here trying to drum up business for your damn broke ass, unlicensed cousin. Okay. I was like, dude, this ain't got nothing to do with you. You do your job. You stick with the gas. Then he went upstairs and was dealing with the fireplace to make sure that was working. And everything was copacetic. So he got ready to leave. He started asking me about, because I had my bass guitar up there on the first level because I need to tune it. And he was saying something like, what did he say? He said, he was like, oh yeah, I do a little music on the side. I was like, man, I don't want to hear this. I was just ignoring him. And I finally, I said, hey man, I gotta go. I started walking his ass to the door. He kept standing there talking about, is there anything else you need me to do? I'm like, man, with your attitude, I don't think so. He was like, man, I'm sorry about that, man. I was like, man, F you, dude. I'm like, get out of my house. I told him, I said, man, you don't talk crazy to somebody in their house, man. What is it? What the hell is wrong with you? You moron. But anyway, man, you know, this dude pissed me off. So yesterday they sent me, you know how they send you a survey thing? How did we do? How was the service? And man, I lit his ass up. Man, I was like, he was rude. I put exactly what he said. So it'd be his words, not mine. Okay. I said, this guy was rude. He asked a lot of personal questions he had no business asking. I said, then he was not helpful. And I lit his ass out. I told him I wasn't satisfied with his work. Now, when I called to give them a formal complaint, file a formal complaint, the woman that I talked to was like, you know, what did she say? She said, did he solve the problem? I said, yeah. I said, well, actually, he really didn't do anything. He just had to relight it because I turned the valve off by mistake. So the valve was off. So he turned it back on. That's really all he did. And but he was trying to Mexican explain on the way out, talking about, hey, you know, he said, I'm sorry about, you know, you feel that, you know, I was being rude or whatever. I said, dude, you didn't even speak to me. I spoke to you. And I told him, I told the girl that took the formal complaint, I said, don't ever have that motherfucker come to my house ever again. Don't let. Okay? Because if he does, there's going to be some problems for him. You digs? But, you know, it's just, man, some of these people, man, they're such jerks. And they, you know, a lot of these Latino dudes are haters. Because I know, because I don't think he expect me to be black. Because when I walked down the stairs, when I opened the door, he kind of looked at me like this with a mad look on his face. And I was like, dude, you know, I said, if I can, and I wrote on that survey, fire his ass. I was like, this guy has no business working with the public. It ain't your job to come castigate somebody in their own home. I said, I don't appreciate somebody disrespecting me in my own home. And the only reason why I didn't chin check him or check him the other way is because I wanted him to do his job. Okay? Somebody threatening me, I'll just lock your gas meter out and you won't have any gas in the house. I said, why would you do that? Well, because I'm not giving you the answers you want. You fat scooter pie eating. I was gonna call him the S word, but I'm gonna hold back on that. But anyway, that's our video for today. Hope you enjoy the new format. We can only get better from here, ladies and gents. And you know, thank you for make sure you like and subscribe. It helps out the channel. And y'all take care. I holla.